Mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillah. Ve salatu vesselamu ala Resulillah ve ala alihi ve sahbihi sellem ve men vela. Allahümme iftah aleyna futuhel arifin ve fıkna tevfik salihin ve fa'na Allahümme bil Kur'ani ve zikril hakim. Allahümme alimna ma yenfa'na bima alemtena ve zidna ilma. يقربنا منك برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين اللهم لا سهل الا ما جعلته سهلا وانت يا حي يا قيوم تجعل اذن شئت سهلا سهلا اللهم اعذنا من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا واصلح لنا شاننا كل لا اله الا انت واستغفرك ونتوب اليك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم اجمعين. السلام عليكم. Hey boys, good? Inshallah. Alright. So I think the topic is about loving Allah and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And I was told about this topic just a few minutes ago. I initially thought it was about I didn't know there was a particular topic. So I'll see if I can connect it, inshallah. Please forgive me. I want to first start off with sincerity, because if you truly love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you need to be sincere. And how do they define sincerity? Sincerity is when your intentions and when your actions are aligned. When both your intentions and your actions are together, the same, that is when you are a sincere person. So you need sincerity if you want to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Does your intentions and your actions coincide together? For example, if I said to, back in the days, we used to go to these big Islamic seminars, and the Imam would talk about a topic and everyone's G'd up, everyone's hyped up, talk about Palestine. Everyone is so G'd up, they're willing to donate everything. But the next day happens, they've got no interest. All that hype gone, like a Coca-Cola Muslim, fizzed up, all up, and then after it, there's no taste. It's the flat Coke, nothing. Because they're not being truly sincere. If you're truly sincere, that hype will continue. That concern will continue. It won't just be a moment. You understand what I'm trying to say? So there's many people who can be hyped, can have a loud voice, but when it comes to true sincerity, it's when your actions and when your intentions align. Now you'll see something with intention. If you do a sincere action, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would reward you for another good action. That's a good indicator that you're doing something right. Whenever you do something with true sincerity, you'll see another good deed comes along. Another good deed comes along, another good practice comes along. And that's a result of being a sincere person. That's a good indicator for yourself. A good measurement for you to see if you're doing something right or wrong. Does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide you more opportunities to do good? That's a good sign that you are doing a good action. I want to tell you a kind of a story, inshallah ta'ala, in regards to this. There was a person in Europe. Every Fridays after Jummah with his dad, they would give out pamphlets about Islam. And it was a rainy Friday. He went up to his dad and said, "Hey Dad, are we going outside and we're going to distribute these pamphlets?" And his dad's like, "Son, can't you see the weather? It's pouring out there. Look outside, there's not one living soul." He's like, "Dad, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, when it's a rainy day, you have a day off, do you give me permission? Can I go outside and give out these pamphlets?" He says, "Oh, son, if you want to go, it's your choice." So he goes outside, he's wet completely, no living soul outside. And he says to himself, "This pamphlet of mine in my hand here, I'm going to give it to someone." So he looks around and he sees the nearest home. He goes to the nearest home and starts knocking on the door. No one responds. He doesn't give up, by the way. He doesn't give up. He says, "Whoever's in this door, inside this door, in this house, they're going to come out because I'm not leaving." So he starts knocking. And this continues for 10-15 minutes. After 15 or so minutes, some old lady slowly comes down the stairs, opens the door, and this young boy says, "This is a ticket to paradise," gives the lady and goes away. 1 week goes past, this lady comes to Jummah, because on the pamphlet, there's the address of the mosque. The Imam sees like a European lady in the mosque. So he's curious, after Salah, says, get her here. She comes in and tells her story. Look at her story. She says, "My husband passed away. And I was very depressed. I had a rope around my neck and I was on a chair. And right when I was gonna kill myself, there was a knock on the door. I said to myself, it will go away. It just will go away. But then it continued. It went on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then I said, who is this person? So I went downstairs and they gave me this pamphlet. And then I realized that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is a sign from Allah that He wants to guide me to the right path. So therefore I want to become a Muslim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. That all occurred through sincerity. The boy was sincere. He loved Allah and His Messenger. He's sincere. And as a result of that sincere action, Allah rewards with such a great deed. Converting someone. That is the best thing. Saving a life is like saving the whole humanity. Allah allowed that to happen because of that sincerity. So therefore, with whatever act that we do, you came here today. What was your intention? Do you even have an intention? Or are you just doing just walking along, living the life without no intention? Going around this. Have an intention. What was your intention to come here? If your intention is to be in an environment where there's remembrance of Allah, if there's an intention of learning more, intention of increasing your brotherhood more, all of these intentions that you have become a reward. And don't just limit it to one intention. Let it be multiple intentions. Why limit to one? You can have 50 intentions if you want. And one person sitting the same way as you can have much more reward than the other just because of his intentions, because of his presence. And that only would occur if that person's in tune. He knows the reality of this world. It's not just about blindly doing stuff. It's about knowing why you're doing it, feeling why you're doing it. Okay? So that's really important. And that comes with love. How would you love someone if you don't feel it? If I said to you, Muhammad passed away in Timbuktu right now, who's going to shed a tear? No one. Why? Because we don't know. Who's Muhammad from Timbuktu? You can only love someone when you know them. So therefore, if you want to be sincere in your love, what is your attempt to know Allah and His Messenger? What is your attempt? Are you reading a book about Allah? Are you reading a book about the Prophet's Sirah? Are you trying to implement something small? Are you trying to fix a bad habit? What are you trying to do to show that you truly love Allah and His Messenger? And if you do all these types of things and you work on yourself as this way, you'll see a lot of different things happening in your life. Alright, inshallah, I want to talk about another story, inshallah, because stories are good lessons, good ways of teaching lessons. This is I'm not sure if it's a true story, but it's got a true meaning. There was a group of brothers going on a journey, and there was like a big plain, a big area where there's grassland. And they said, you know what, this is a good spot to kind of relax and camp. This is back in the days. And then one of the brothers said, you know what, I'm going to do some nafil salah. Just want to pray. So he started praying. And as he was praying, some of the other brothers noticed in the distance that a lion was coming along. Hey bro, there's a lion. Hey. They go up a tree. This brother is praying. The lion comes close, goes around the brother, sniffs him, leaves. The boys come like Spider-Man downstairs, comes down the tree. He finishes his salah. He's like, hey bro, are you crazy? There's a lion? Why did you break your salah? He's like, when I was praying, this thought came to me. Am I more afraid of Allah, or am I more afraid of the creation of Allah? And I didn't want to be a hypocrite. Even though I was so scared of the lion, I didn't want to be a hypocrite. So therefore I continued my prayer. So that's a person who's trying to do what? Everything is ability to be sincere with whatever they're doing. I'm not saying go when there's a lion there, just sit down there and just risk your life. But I'm showing you the extremes that people go through for the sake of sincerity, for the sake of the love of Allah and His Messenger. It takes a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes it might even take your life due to sincerity of your love of Allah and His Messenger. So that's something to really keep in mind. Whenever you're praying, whenever you're doing an action, at least at the start, at the middle, at the end, think of your intention. Is it for Allah and His Messenger? Am I doing it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Or am I doing it for what reason? Always put yourself in that check. And if you do that even just once, say you did it now, what's your intention? To learn. Do it now, and before this finishes as well, have an intention. Make sure that's a habit. I assure you, you'll be better than most Muslims. Better than most Muslims. Because most Muslims just go with the flow. Don't think too much. Alright. This is also very, very similar. When you love Allah and His Messenger, you need to be in a state of presence. You have to be like as if, you know what ihsan is, yes? Ihsan is like worshipping Allah as if you see Him, and if you don't see Him, He sees you. So someone who truly loves Allah and His Messenger needs to be like Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. As you all know, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam went to the palace at one stage of his life, and there is an individual, Zulayha, who is in love with Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, to an extent where she can't stop herself. Just imagine it this way. Sometimes we just think of it, but just imagine it this way. It takes some time. So for example, thinks about Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, looks at the magazines, always sees her, or looks at her on her phone. I'm just giving you like modern interpretations. Always checking the post. What did he post today? On Facebook or Instagram? Or did he post something? Let me like something. That type of love. And after a while, she can't hold herself. So she closed all the doors. Not one door, but doors. Multiple doors. Say you're in this room now. Beautiful lady. All the doors are closed. I'm not doing anything. It's just she's the one that's trying to seduce me. I'm not doing anything. You know, most people in that circumstances, beautiful young lady, closed doors. Oh, astaghfirullah, what can I do at this circumstance? Maybe would fall in the trap of the shaitan just then. But Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, despite no adhan or no sheikh at the background saying astaghfirullah, what are you doing? Remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, has ihsan, and says astaghfirullah and starts to run. He doesn't like walk and like, let me just casually do it, maybe she'll catch me. And there's nothing. That's all, your intentions are all mixed up. That happens, right? People mix up. Someone gets a message on their phone, let me just message her or contact her, you know. No. You open the door for zina, walk towards it closely, you'll get burned. Okay? So in this situation, Yusuf starts to run, and what happens? She holds on to his shirt and rips the shirt. And then at that moment, like a movie scene, the doors open. The movie scene, where there's a rip of the shirt, the woman's holding on, and then the woman starts to complain, he's seducing me, he's doing this, and blah, blah, blah. It's a pretty hard situation to be in. But it didn't matter for Yusuf because he had ihsan. And luckily, there were people who gave good advice and said, if the shirt was ripped from the front, it was because of him and she was struggling. And if it was ripped from behind, it was her because he was trying to run away. And then what happened? The man just said, beat a woman, give due tawbah, Yusuf, go away. Maybe it was because the man didn't show love towards his wife. Would you want someone like Yusuf, who your wife loves to an extent where it wants to jump on him, to be in the same palace still after that situation? You be there, you be there. You can see there's some problems there, right? You can see there's some problems there. So make sure you have ihsan. I know a lot of boys, if they're in a car, let's say youngsters are in a car with their mates, and there's a young, beautiful girl walking by, they might go turn and check, and maybe even make a noise, maybe even talk about it. If their mum and dad are there, they're maybe even scared to even move their head around. Yeah? That's a sign of ihsan. There's a sign of sincerity. You need sincerity if you truly want to love Allah and His Messenger. Alright. Okay. This is also reminiscent to another story I want to mention. I'll give you a Chinese story. We'll switch it up a bit. Not an Islamic story, but a Chinese story about being sincere. There was this particular sultan who wanted to appoint another new king. This Chinese king. He wanted to appoint a new king. So he gave every single person in the village seeds and said, whoever has the best flour, the best, whatever, best flour, best vegetation of some sort, will be the king. But you have till X amount of months. So months go by, everyone, says they want to get the best flour, so they fake it. They get it from something else, they all like lie and steal and fake it. But this one person, this boy, he doesn't fake it. And because the Sultan made sure that all the seeds were boiled seeds, so they don't have any, you can't grow any vegetation from it. But then he comes, everyone's there invited, and everyone has, mashallah, tabarakallah, flowers and trees and everything. But this young boy has nothing. And everyone's laughing at him. What'd you do in 5 months, man? So the king looks up and he looks in an angry fashion. And out of all the people, sees that boy that has nothing. Calls him up, hey, come here. And he's very scared now because everyone's got all these things. And at that moment, he puts the crown on that boy. Said, you're king. And then he explains why. He says, I've given you all boiled seeds. None of you should have any vegetation at all. So the only one that spoke the truth was this man. So therefore, the one that deserves this position is the person that can speak the truth. So, inshallah ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us sincere people, despite any circumstances, even if it means that it's going to be a negative on us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those who...
Is there a way of to be sincere? Like all the footprints or path that we need to take? Is there like a way or a shortcut?
A good indication of someone that's sincere is in your alone time. Let's say you pray here, you pray well. When you pray home, you pray well. A good indication of your sincerity is when there's no lights on you, when you're alone, no one's looking at you except Allah. Allah always would say that's the story, but when you're alone, are you doing the same level of commitment in your salah, in your worship, in your actions? That's a good indicator if you're being truthful or not, if you're being sincere or not. When you're alone, that's why a lot of the scholars would say, whatever you're doing alone should be reminiscent to the same thing that you're doing outside in public. So if you're praying fast at home, it's better to pray fast in public, because then you're going to get into Riyah. You're going to get into Riyah, which is a minor shirk, yeah? So therefore, make sure that your private life, your privacy, your worship and your privacy is very good. That will be a good indicator of your sincerity. That will be a good indicator, inshallah ta'ala. So I'm not sure if that answers the question to a certain extent. He might be asking, is there certain ways of being sincere? Well, they're all easy but hard, yeah? Don't say a lie, speak the truth. It's easy said, but when you're under duress, it's problematic. If I came to one of the students here, who's in like high school here? Say you're in high school, you did something wrong, it's very common. The teacher goes, hey, you did this wrong, and the kid straight away lies. Makes it like obvious, like straight away, I didn't do that, sir. I literally saw you, man. No, I didn't do it at all. Straight away there's like this lie, yeah? Because you're ready to just defend without thinking. Yeah? So there's a lot of people who, even speaking the truth is a very difficult thing. So if you can just do little things one by one, then you'll be sincere. But speaking the truth, being the truth, saying and believing that what you say, they're all indicators, inshallah, of sincerity. Alright. Should I continue? Okay. I want to talk about, this is something that happened in, I think, Mexico, where this driver, there was a police officer on the side of the road with a radar, and everyone's going like 100, but then the radar's there, they can see, they all slow down, and they slow down. But this one guy, he sees the radar and he sees everyone slowing down, but he still continues the same speed. Like he sees it, but he's like, he just continues the same speed. Police officer stops him, says, look, everyone was slowing down, they saw me, Everyone's slowing down. Why didn't you slow down? He's like, I don't want to be a hypocrite. So that's that's the way certain people are, you know. I'm not saying do that, but he's lucky. He got pulled off. The police officer kind of smiled and was like, oh, this guy's a good guy, and he left him off. But that's how it should be. We should be people. That's a sign of a sincere person, not willing to trick, lie, whatever. I'm not saying do this, by the way. If you see a radar, still slow down. Don't get a big fine, right? But I'm just saying that's a good indicator of some of the stuff that people do to be sincere in what they believe in and in what they are. Now, do you guys know the story of Ali radiallahu anhu? Ali radiallahu anhu had a shield. And he was walking down the marketplace, and he saw a Jewish man selling his shield in the marketplace. So Ali radiallahu anhu said, this is my shield. And he said, no, this is mine. This is mine. So even though Ali radiallahu anhu at this point is Amir al-Mu'mineen, he's a Khalifa, he could just take it, right? It's mine. Get away, it's mine. You know? But even in that situation, he says, okay, let's bring a judge in. And he brings the biggest judge. And the judge speaks to him in his kunya, Ya Abul Hasan, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, with his unwan, with his titles and all these things. And he says, hey, stop. Just say my name proper. You know, I don't want any advantage in this conversation. We're the same people here. They're still with us. So he sits down and he deals. And so he says, okay, what's your case? He says, this is my shield. My son is a witness. Blah, blah, blah. And he says, and this man says, no, it's not your shield, it's my shield. Okay? So the judge says, look, according to Islam, Sharia, if you have like a family member being a witness at the situation, it's conflict of interest, so we can't take his testimony. So therefore, this shield is the Jewish man's. So Ali understands. But then the Jewish man knows, like, what kind of person is this person? He's the leader of the Muslims. It's his shield. I completely lied because I don't care about that stuff. Yet, because of justice, he completely submits. These people are magnificent human beings. So he goes to Ali radiallahu anhu, he gives back the shield, and he says, I want to become a Muslim like you. And he says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And that all becomes because of sincerity, truthfulness, love of Allah and His Messenger. You won't reach this state if you don't love Allah and His Messenger more than everything. Okay? This can only be reached if you love Allah and His Messenger more than everything. And Ali radiallahu anhu has many cases like this. I assure you, if me, you, everyone here did sincere actions, there will be much barakah in everything that we do. Not just in money, but the people that we influence, the people that are changing, even the culture of the mosque or the so-and-so that we go to. Everything would change if we were very sincere in what we do. There'll be a lot of barakah in everything that we do. Look at Ali radiallahu anhu as another example. When he's in the battlefield, again versing a Jewish man, he defeats the man, he's got a sword around his neck, and he says, hey, if you say Shadu an la ilaha illallah wa shadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, I'll spare your life. And he spits on him. Ali radiallahu anhu stands up and says, go away. Normal people get this and they're like, stab even further. Yeah, you spit on me? Man, I'm in war. I've got adrenaline rushing. Think about someone even wrestling. Spat on your face, straight away you're going to go for a punch. You get more angry. Ali radiallahu anhu, on the other hand, leaves everything. He says, go away. The man is shocked. Normally you're going to be completely angry. And then he asks him, why'd you leave? Why'd you spare my life? We're in war. I spat on your face. He says, initially I was only fighting you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But when he spat on my face, I wanted to kill you because of my own nafs. And therefore I said, go away. It's haram on me to do that. That man becomes a Muslim again. Who is these people, man? Who are these people? Sincere people. The words and their actions are aligned. This is something that we need to be. This is something that we need to do in order for us to see greatness in our lives. And I'm saying this to myself first and foremost, by the way. I'm up here, but it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't matter if you have a beard, doesn't matter if you have a throat. Doesn't matter if you have takya or anything. That doesn't mean anything. We need, what we're saying, if we need to act upon everything. Okay? So it's really important, everyone here, I'm telling you, if there was only us in this room being like those people, like the Sahaba and those who followed their way, we were like them, sincere in our ways, I assure you we can conquer many people's hearts. There were people that didn't even hear the message of Islam, they sat with the Prophet ﷺ. Like, this guy, just because of his adab, they become Muslim. Because of his highlight, his presence, they become Muslim. You see him, they become Muslim. And that is a level that can only happen when you love Allah and His Messenger more than everything. When you love Allah and His Messenger. They came up to the Prophet ﷺ during the Battle of Uhud. Ya Rasulullah, my son, he hasn't reached the age of puberty, but you can use him as a shield, Ya Rasulullah. When the swords come, when the arrows come, use him as a shield, Ya Rasulullah. The most beloved to a mum and a dad is their kids. And they love the Messenger of Allah so much, they say, Ya Allah, use him as a shield. If it means your survival, use him as a shield, Ya Rasulullah. Of course, the Prophet didn't accept, but that's the love, that's the level of love that people had towards Rasulullah. That is a very high level. That can't just be achieved by sitting down, watching your movies, playing your games, watching your anime, watching other bad things, swearing. Don't expect this to happen. You have to make a sacrifice. You have to be willing to make a sacrifice. You have to be saying 5 minutes a day even. Am I spending 5 minutes a day where I say to my mum and dad, everyone, I'm in my room, no phone, nothing. 5 minutes a day, put my face in the sajda, put my hand up, do dua. 5 minutes, communicate, anything, something small. I assure you, if all of us did 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, where we just cry and we just speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, fix me. And do remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There will be so much difference. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want you to do a billion things. Okay? You do one thing proper, a lot of things will change in your life. There are many Sahaba that did one thing, because of their one thing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted the biggest of Jannahs. Ya Bilal, I heard your footsteps in Jannah. Why? Ya Rasul, I don't know, but there's only one thing that I continuously do. Every time I do wudu, I pray two units of salah. Something small. This man is a man of Jannah. They find out, what is he? What do you do? I looked at you, I observed you day and night. I lived in the same house as you. I didn't see anything. I don't know what it is, but I think before I sleep, I make sure that I have no enmity and no hatred against anyone. I forgive everyone before I sleep. One action. And all of these people are granted Jannah during the life of the Prophet. Man of Jannah, man of Jannah, man of Jannah. So therefore, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't want so much from us. Something small, but do it consistently. One of the attributes of the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha says that the Prophet ﷺ was like a misty rain, continuous misty rain, gentle rain that continues non-stop. Be consistent with whatever you do. That's a sign of love. That's a sign of love. Who likes something here? I'm pretty sure if you like watching soccer, footy, AFL, NFL, whatever, you're consistently watching it. You're consistently on the post-game reviews. You're consistently talking. You're consistently doing all of these things, watching the highlights consistently because you love it. You love it. That's a sign of a man who loves something. If you do it consistently. So how much of us consistently say, yeah, it's time to read a book of the Prophet ﷺ. I want to cry. I want to do a sunnah today. I want to do so and so. They're all indicators of your sincerity, and they're all indicators of loving Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All right. Now I spoke too much. I might have passed my time. I'm not sure. Should I continue? Is that fine? Or Bashkan, do you want to say anything? Is the brothers coming soon? Okay. Good timing, inshallah. Alright, so a good kind of way to show love of Allah and His Messenger. Sometimes it happens in gatherings where there are actually people singing in the same way. Now there's a brother going to bring a deaf and we're going to probably sing some nasheeds. This is a great way. Why? When the Prophet ﷺ immigrated from Mecca to Medina, Out of love. What did people do out of love? They sang. They sang. Out of love, when they were building the Masjid Nabawi, what did they do? They sang. Singing is a sign, it can be a good way to also express your love in a certain way, inshallah ta'ala. So today, inshallah ta'ala, if I said anything that is correct, it's from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I said anything that's incorrect, it is from me. Thank you all for coming in today, inshallah ta'ala. We've got another program. I'll give to Bashkan Yusuf to speak a bit, and hopefully, as a group, we can sing a few nasheeds and hopefully express our love towards Allah and His Messenger. And may this particular day be a turning point for all of us, in a good way. May we try to be as sincere as we can in our words and our actions. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, success in what we do. May we save people. May we be an excuse. Allah gives us the opportunity that hopefully all of you in our lifetime can convert someone, can be a means for someone to become a Muslim, inshallah. And hopefully save the whole humanity as a result. Inshallah. Ameen. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen.